The horizontal range and maximum height of a projectile are equal. The angle of projection of the projectile is. See, this is a very straightforward question, and we know that theta is equal to tan inverse 4 by n, and since it is said that both of them are equal, n is equal to 1, therefore the correct answer would be theta is equal to tan inverse 4, which means wait, okay, yeah, so we have option B to be the correct answer. But I would actually suggest that we go somewhat more deeper into the subject to have a better understanding about what we are trying to learn. So say this is the ground. An object is projected with velocity u at an angle theta. It attains the maximum height at point P. And it completes the maximum distance at C. So we have AC as the range and PR as the height. So we know that we have derived this. And what is the equation for H is equal to? H is equal to u square sine square theta by 2g. And what is R is equal to? R is equal to u square sine 2 theta by g. And when we say that, according to the question, the height of a projectile and range are equal, when we say that height is equal to range, what do we get? U square sine square theta by 2g is equal to u square sine 2 theta by g. So u square by u square is 1, g by g is 1. So what we get is sine square theta by 2 is equal to, what is sine 2 theta? It is 2 sine theta cos theta, which means, so we have sine theta into sine theta is equal to 4 times sine theta cos theta. Sine theta by sine theta is 1. So what we get is tan theta is equal to 4, right? Now, this was the basic understanding what we should be having regarding this equation here. Let us do one more extension of the same topic, which will actually help you, which goes like this. Okay, so when we say tan theta is equal to 4, what we need to understand is theta is equal to tan inverse 4, and this value, it comes somewhere around 75 degree. Well, it's actually 75 degree and 58 minutes. Okay, so we have otherwise learned that when theta is equal to 45, right? When theta is equal to 45, what is the relationship between h and r? It is that 4h is equal to r, right? So we have two values, 4h is equal to r and h is equal to r. So h is equal to r when theta is equal to 75 degree 58 minutes, and when theta is 45, we have 4h is equal to r. Now there is one important relationship, that is r is equal to 4 times root of h1 h2, the derivation of which I would say is really important. Well, not the process of derivation, but if to understand what that is. So what we have here is an object which is projected at an angle theta with velocity u, another object projected at an velocity u at an angle, say at an angle 90 minus theta. Oh, diagrammatically doesn't make sense, sorry for that. So what we have here is an object which comes up like this, same maximum height h1, and another object which comes like this. It comes like this with height, maximum height h2, but what remains constant is the range covered by these two bodies. Okay, so what are we talking about here? We're talking about two bodies projected with the same velocity, having the same range, but having different maximum heights, and different maximum heights and angles at theta and 90 minus theta respectively. Okay, so now we'll analyze these two motions. So what is the maximum height here? h1 is equal to, h1 we know that is equal to u square sine square theta, say theta by 2g, right? And what is h2 is equal to? h2 will be equal to u square sine square. What is the value of theta here? It is sine square 90 minus theta the whole upon 2g, right? Now, what is the meaning of h1 into h2 is equal to? So h1 into h2 is equal to u square sine square theta by 2g into u square sine square 90 minus theta the whole upon 2g. Now what we'll do is we'll try to make this equation more sensible. So okay, let us first write down the next second term. So we have u square sine square theta by 2g into, see, what is sine 90 minus theta? Now please, I have a request that if you find learning these trigonometric identities as difficult while assigning the quadrants and angles, the symbols of it, make sure you learn like this way. It will really help you. I think it should be helping you. So what is sine a minus b? Sine a minus b is sine a cos b minus cos a sine b. So what is a here? 90. What is b here? It is theta. So what is sine a? It is sine 90 cos theta minus second term is cos a, which is cos 90. Sine b is sine theta. What is cos 90? See, sine 0 is equal to cos 90 is equal to 0. So this term is 0. This complete term is 0. So all what we have is sine 90. What is the value of sine 90? See, cos 0 is equal to sine 90 is equal to 1. So this becomes 1 into cos theta, which is equal to theta. So which is equal to cos theta. So what is sine 90 minus theta is equal to? It is equal to cos theta. So instead of u square sine square theta, u square sine square 90 minus theta, what can we write here? U square cos square theta. Okay. Having said so, what I'll do is I'll make another rearrangement here. So I'll write it like this: u square. Now sine square theta, I'll write it as sine theta into sine theta the whole upon 2g into into g into u square into cos square theta. I'll write it as cos theta into cos theta the whole upon, okay, so let me use a different color itself so things will become clear. So we have u square cos theta the whole upon g, and that 1 by 2 I'll write it over here. Okay, now if we go further, what do we get? What we get is this is equal to half into 1 by 2 into, now I'll make some rearrangements here, u square by g into sine theta into, I'll bring 1 cos theta over here, this becomes into cos theta into u square by g into cos theta into, I'll bring the other sine theta here, sine theta. Okay. And we'll do one more addition, which is multiplying 2 on the numerator as well as the denominator. Multiplying another 2 on the numerator as well as the denominator. Okay. Now, what is sine 2 theta is equal to? Sine 2 theta is equal to 2 sine theta cos theta. In which case, this is equal to half into 1 by 2 into u square sine 2 theta by u square sine 2 theta by g into, this will become u square sine 2 theta by g, right? So, what do we get? 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 is 1 by 4. Oh, we have into 1 by 2 here. I'm sorry, I skipped that part. It's 1 by 2 into 1 by 2. So, 2 into 2, 4 into 2, 8 into 2 is 16. So, what we get is 1 by 16 into, what is u square sine square 2 theta by g? It is r, right? It is r. What is u square sine 2 theta by g? It is also r. Basically, it is r2 and r1, but we know from the explanation that both the ranges are equal. So, it is basically equal to say that r1 is equal to r2, right? So, this reduces to 1 by 16 r into r, which is equal to 1 by 16 into r square. Now, what is the LHS? The LHS is h1 into h2. So, we have got h1 into h2 is equal to 1 by 16 r square. So, what is r square is equal to? R square is equal to 16 into h1 h2, and what is r is equal to? R is equal to root of 16 into h1 h2, and therefore r is equal to 4 h1 h2 raised to 1 by 2, or let us write it much more. So, r is equal to 4 into root of h1 h2, right? And if we try to understand this as a table, we have got theta and relationship between h and r. So, when theta is equal to 75 degrees and 58 minutes, what we get is h is equal to r. When theta is 45 degrees, what we get is 4h is equal to r. And when the two projectiles are fired at theta and 90 minus theta, what is the relationship between them? We have r is equal to 4 into root of h1 h2. So, this table can also be useful if you solve problems. You know, maybe if you get a question which is based on either h is equal to r or 4 is equal to r, you don't need to derive further. You can just directly solve the question by using these angles, or vice versa. Okay, so now let's move on to the next question.